Well, it's been a while since I made a video, and I've gotten a lot of requests. What happened to the car, building the cars, and so on. Well, I've still been building the car. I've just painted it this week. I didn't show any of the painting or didn't show some of the finishing, but I have several others to build, and I'll take up the building portion when I get to that part of the next car, so it'll continue the series. But at the moment, the last several weeks and maybe even a month now, I've been learning how to make my own lettering. I bought a vinyl plotter for cutting vinyl lettering, and it took me quite a while to learn the program and learn things about it. And you're going to say, well, why do you do your own? You can go to a sign shop, or there's people out in the live stream world that make lettering. And it's quite simply this reason. I happen to be pretty fussy about it, and I went to a sign shop and I said, make me these lettering, and this is what it's supposed to look like. And the Pennsylvania Railroad had special lettering. It was called Clarendon. Crawl, C-R-A-W, Crawl, Clarendon or Clarendon. And that lettering, even that Clarendon lettering, is not that at all. It's some concoction that the Pennsy made up. But it's very special lettering, and you just can't throw out P-E-N-N-S-Y-L-V-A-N-I-A and say that looks like Pennsy lettering. It does not. And when I did the K4, I had a prominent lettering person that's selling lettering out there now, and this person made it for me, and it was totally wrong. And I worked with them to try to get it to work out right, and I finally was able to get it. But I said next time around I'm going to make my own. So I bought a vinyl plotter. Have it over here. I'll show you that in a minute. And the advantage to it is I can put a pen in there rather than put a cutter. I can put a pen in there, put some paper in the machine, and print out exactly what the plotter is going to cut. Now I can take that, cut it out, use it as a template, put it up on the engine or on the car, and make a mock-up of exactly what it's going to look like when I'm ready to do it. I have it. When I'm ready to do the vinyl, I'm not going to be wasting the vinyl. The vinyl, roll of vinyl, here's a white roll here. The roll of vinyl, this size, 24 inches by 30 yards, is 10 yards, 30 feet, is about $42. But you can get a lot of lettering out of this. But you figure you need white, I got red here, got red, I got black. I mean, that's your standard colors. And then I have over here, I have a roll of yellow. Now this is a little too yellow for what I want to do, and I'm going to move to what's called imitation gold. Now Avery, the company Avery, makes a chart, and for $6 or $8 you buy the chart, and in here it has all the colors, everything you want, and these are actual pieces of the vinyl. So what I'm going to be using now, I'm going to buy a roll of this right here, which is called imitation gold. And I'm going to be using that. Now, from the railroad, Historic Society, the Pennsylvania Technical and Historic Society, I purchased these, what they call drift cards. I don't know why they call them that. They're paint swatches. But here's the colors. That's imitation buff. This is Toledo red. This is what the keystones were, this color. These two colors together. Okay, and that's what my K4 has. This is Tuscan red. This is dark green locomotive enamel. Believe it or not, that is green. That is green. It's not black. It looks black. And then we have, it was an oxide red, people. It was freight car color. That's what color that is. That all their freight equipment was freight car color. This color. And then they had a yellow, which is this is like a maintenance away. All their maintenance away was that color. So these are all the colors that the Pennsylvania Railroad used. And from them, I also got a bulletin that they made up, and it told of how to paint the locomotive. So that's why the 1361, if you were looking at the pictures of it, first of all, it is a true dark green locomotive enamel. It's the best I've seen. I've seen a lot of people, they say it's hunter green, it's this green, it's that green. It is dark green locomotive enamel, nothing else. It's not called Brunswick green. Brunswick green was like an appley green that came from the UK. Dark green locomotive enamel. Well, we're talking about cars now. So anyway, I printed this out. You can put a Sharpie pen into the plotter, and I printed this out. And you notice it says Pennsylvania, whatever, and different types of lettering, different spacing. And I tried different things, and of course the letters look kind of fat. You could use a smaller, plotter pen, or like a finer pen. And this one here is what's called extended lettering. Now, if you look at the L, you see the L is real long, and the E is real long. This is called extended. This is standard lettering. The S, look at the difference in the S's. Okay, this is what I'm going to be using this, but I'm going to stretch it out to 48 inches long. That's what it was over the top of the cars. Now, I purchased this book, which is called PRR Color Guide to Freight and Passenger Equipment. There's several of the books. And if you notice, I don't know if you can see it in the pictures here, but the Pennsylvania stretched out across the top, and then it also had the striping. So I'm going to be doing that. Here's another example of what I did. I did this on CAD. The middle one be used for something like I just made for my friend Carl Miller. For his locomotive, I made some Pennsylvania Railroad for his diesel. Now, what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks is this fancy Keystone. Okay, the PRR Keystone. There was on all their equipment, on their freight equipment. Let me see if I can get an example. On their box cars. You see they had it on there. Different colors. There's one here on the front. Was another setup they had, and I was able to find this on the internet, and it tells you the proportions of the Keystone. Now you notice there's two different Keystones here. This one has a border. This one doesn't have an extra border. Now they were used for different things, for bridges and whatnot. It just depends on what you have to do. Now what I'm going to be doing is, I don't know if you can see this, but that is what I've made that up. I had to do this on CAD. I made all of these on CAD. It was quite a job to do it, and they have to be separated so I can change this and change the Keystone. And I'm going to be printing this in gold, and then gluing it onto red vinyl, cutting it out on the red vinyl, and then gluing that onto black, because that's what my friend Carl wants. He wants. What you're seeing here is a picture of my AutoCAD program for making this Keystone. I drew it on in AutoCAD first, and then I imported it to my sign program, and you have to convert it to a DXF file, and then it can be imported into my program to be able to be cut. Now individually there's 3 different Keystones here. The green one, if you can see, that's the innermost one. That is going to be part of the lettering. That's going to be all yellow. The red one you see here is going to be red along with the background of the Keystone. And then the black line here, for my friend Carl Miller, he wants an outline of black. It's going to be the black part of the Keystone. I'm not going to use that. The originals weren't like that, but he wants it that way for some reason. Alright, now I go over here. Up in here I have my blocks. So if I click on that, and then it says edit. Down there's my PRR. I had to draw this, by the way, by hand. By freehand, or whatever how you want to say it. I did it with the computer, and then each one has its individual letters. There's an R there, and then the P, and of course you can just highlight the whole thing. And then I have my Keystones, my different Keystones there. They're all separate blocks. All right, so now what I've done is we'll minimize this, and we'll go back to my sign program here.